Hello for everybody watching on YouTube and our CTV app. We are going to be starting here in just a few minutes, just getting the last few technical details ironed out. So just bear with us for one moment. We will be back with you in just a few minutes.
News Channel 8 and the WFLA app. You're watching WFLA Now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Man, oh man, have we made it through the night? Because that was cold. I'm Josh Scott. Garrett, how are you doing? Are you warm? Are you staying warm?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Josh. We're here in the Stream Center at WFLA. I mean, listen, I'm a Florida boy, born and raised. And Josh, I know you are not from this area. You're from the north. And
that's right.
Why did you move down here and bring the cold with you?
Listen, listen, no one's more upset about this than I am,
yeah.
Okay? Coming in from, the north. I was in Chicago last, very cold there. Came down here to get a little bit warmer. I guess I brought it with me. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's been crazy, really. Like, I was out last night after I was working for Gasparilla, and afterwards I went out for a moment, and I regretted it. I really did. I was walking outside in like 30-degree weather, and I just wasn't prepared. I've been in Florida my entire life. I think my heaviest jacket is like a windbreaker.
Yeah.
It was not what I was expecting, and here we are again. I mean, it's just as cold outside.
I was walking
Ugh.
in this morning, and I felt that wind hit my face. I was like, "Where am I?" It feels a little too much like home. And now, the point of this show, why we're live today, is we want to hear about your experiences, right? What's going on in your neck of the woods. So we welcome you in. We say good morning. SML says good morning. Esther's daughter says good morning on YouTube. We welcome in everybody on Facebook and TikTok as well. Across wherever you're watching, we're glad you're here. Hey, you want to be a part of this, though, right? We literally want to see what's going on where you are. WFLA.com/reported. That's how you get in. You can also comment. We'll be putting your comments up, and we'll put most comments we see up. But if you really want to get our attention, right? Most of you know how to do this. You guys are veterans here. Hashtag Hey Josh, hashtag Hey Garrett, and Jeff Berardelli, Chief Meteorologist, will be joining us in a little bit to talk about this weather phenomenon. In fact, he should be on his way shortly. Hashtag Hey Jeff, right? That's how we do it. And yes, and we, we're going to do this now, and we're going to get into Megaphone. We're going to talk to, as he sits down now. How are you doing, Jeff? Are you warm?
Where do you want me? What seat?
Right here. It's
Right
perfect
there.
for you, Jeff.
Right here?
Yes.
Am I warm? Yeah, I'm plenty warm.
Plenty warm now, right?
Yeah.
This is, you've had an evening and a morning, and
Yeah, I was here last night late, and now I'm back here for a couple hours with you fine fellows. Well, not Garrett, but everybody else. No, I'm just kidding.
come on,
I'm
man.
just teasing. I'm just teasing.
this is, this has been crazy. And you were on it first. I mean, early in this week, you were saying we might get some snow flurries here. And I'll be honest, I probably a little bit of an attitude that I bring with me from the north. I'm like, there are not going to be any snow flurries or anything.
Yeah, well, there's some right there.
Yeah, and we're
Yeah.
seeing it. This is from Clay Hansen and St.
Yeah.
Pete. We've gotten so many submissions. Karen's saying the power out. There's a power out now in Winter Springs as well. Lots of implications. What can we expect? Is this going to warm up? Is it going to be a little bit less cold, maybe more cold this week?
It is. It's going to warm up. That's for sure. Today we're not getting past the mid 40s, which we're going to be very close to a record cold maximum temperature. So essentially, we have records for like the coldest it's ever been during the day, and we're going to be very close to that. But it's all uphill from here, guys. We're going to be warming up as we head through the week. In fact, we're going to be close to 70 by Wednesday. That'll be nice.
Wow.
But in the meantime, right now it is just super cold. I think we had an all-time record low in Bartow. So the coldest it's ever been measured in Bartow. I think. It's not an official source, but I see it on a website that tracks these things. It was 24.8 degrees. That very well could be the coldest ever there. Around the eastern United States, we've had about 100 record lows set this morning and around 11 monthly record lows. And just to give you an idea of how cold the air mass is, the way we measure it, not on the ground, in the clouds, the air mass is pretty much the coldest we've had since we've been keeping records in 1948. So just to give you an idea of, how generational this cold air event is. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that. Something I'm super curious about is we hear how this is kind of a historic event. How long back do we have to go for maybe the general Tampa area to see colds like this?
2010.
Okay.
So we had a cold snap that was equal, maybe even colder back in 2010. And it really depends upon where you are, because in Tampa we got, it's got down to 30, which is not historic in any way, but it is historic for the East Coast, and it has to do with the northwest wind. A northwest wind keeps it slightly milder here because we have a little bit of Gulf influence, whereas once you get east of I-75, then it becomes historic. That's why Bartow had either a monthly or an all-time record low, and down in Miami, same story. I think it was a monthly record low down there. So for them, this air mass is just as cold, if not colder in some cases, than 2010. So that's the comparison.
Yeah, Jeff, listen, we were talking about monitoring comments earlier. If you want your comment, leave hashtag Hey Jeff, Hey Garrett, Hey Josh. We've got a few. One of them, I think, didn't use the hashtag, but I'm going to give him a little bit of grace because I think that it's going to be a nice one for Jeff. Gracie says, "Hi, Dad." This is from Christy.
Hey, Gracie. How you doing, honey? I love you. I love my girl. She's my 4-year-old. And Christy, my wife, I love you. I love both of my family members. And I will be back home snuggling in bed with you guys in around 2.5, 3 hours, okay?
Yeah, absolutely, of course.
Very
And then, of
cute,
course, we
very
have Hey
cute.
Jeff.
You made my morning, Garrett.
See, that's what I'm here for.
You made my morning.
You,
That's
of
so
course, throwing shots across the bow the moment I sit down. But hey, that's okay. I'm here to make you feel better, though.
Gracie, when I get home, you're going to have some chocolate for that.
There
You're
you
going to
go.
get some chocolate, Gracie.
All right, perfect. So, Jeff, really quickly, just want to make sure that this is the computer you're looking for, right?
Weather 1.
Yeah,
So,
this is it right here.
I don't see it because I
Oh,
can't.
that's what I have listed in here. So if you
Oh,
want,
Weather 1 is the one we're going to use. Yeah.
yeah, that's what we have.
okay,
currently.
that's the one that's up right now.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Oh, okay. So let's
Just wanted
do
to clear
this.
that
Let's
up for you. There
let's
you
do
go.
some weather. I didn't know if you were playing that video or if it was me.
No, that's
all right.
you.
So that's from Clay Hansen in St. Petersburg, and it's a rare sight for sure. This one is from Sean Hernandez in Winter Haven, and you really had to look at the light. See right there. You look in the light, you can see the light flurries. The flurries were so light that the radar couldn't even pick it up. I can't tell you how many people online say they didn't see anything, just like Aileen just said. And if you look at the satellite and radar, look, You can't see. You see the streamers. You notice those streamers? That's Gulf effect clouds that are moving in. And you see a couple of flurries out over the Gulf, but you don't see them close to the coast. But they're there. In fact, let me see if I can advance this graphic. Boy, I'm having the hardest time. There it is. Okay, now, see Max Defender 8, guys? I want you to look at this. Notice the snow flurries right along the immediate coast. I had to turn the radar up to super ultra sensitive ludicrous mode to be able to see. I don't think that actually exists, ludicrous mode, but I set the radar to ludicrous mode so I could actually see the snow flurries, and sure enough, you could see those bands, those Gulf effect bands, and those snow flurries right along the beaches from Indian Rocks Beach to St. Pete Beach. Someone in Bradenton says they've been consistently seeing flurries for the past hour or so, but notice the flurries are now basically gone. We look at St. Pete Beach, just kind of cloudy, 37 degrees at the beach. Let me talk a little bit more about Gulf effect flurries and how this happens, okay? It's just like lake effect snow. You got frigid air that started blowing in yesterday and last night. Temperatures 20s inland, 30s along the coast. Warm water. Now, there's a criteria for enough instability for these snow showers or snow flurries to form. The Gulf temperature must be 25 degrees warmer than the mid-level temperatures. It is. It's 45-degree temperature contrast. Wow. And what's impressive about it is the cloud temperature of 15 either ties or breaks a record for the coldest we've ever measured above the clouds in Tampa Bay since 1948, just to give you an idea of how cold that is. All right, and you can see those bands. We saw them just now on the satellite, but I drew this. But you can see how these bands line up kind of basically perpendicular to, not perpendicular, parallel to the wind flow, and you get these snow flurries that fell. So again, a rare situation. You want to know where this cold air came from, guys?
Oh my goodness.
It literally came from Santa, manifested by the elves. I was able to trace this air mass back. You can, as meteorologists, we have the tools to trace air masses from where they came from. And when you look at where this came from, it came from the North Pole. And if you go back even further, it came from Siberia. So this came from the coldest two places on Earth, and you understand now why it was so cold. So an extreme cold warning still in effect for wind chills as low as 8. I've seen wind chills as low as 11 in Lakeland this morning. Freeze warnings closer to the coast, and along the immediate coast, it's a cold weather advisory. And here I would say, I'm going to leave you with this, guys. Here I would say is the most important aspect of this, which is the duration of the freeze, which is we joke about and we kid about snow flurries, and everybody's so giddy about snow flurries. But this is this can potentially be a devastating situation for our farmers, for our agriculture. We had a duration of freeze that lasted 8 to 12 hours over our inland counties, and that is really tough to protect citrus from and strawberries from and other types of produce. Our farmers are literally up all night doing everything they can to try to stave off what would be disaster for them losing their crops. So I don't know how they fared. They have one more night of it tonight because it's going to be just as cold temperature-wise tonight, not wind chills, but temperature-wise. And so tonight's going to be another precarious night for our farmers.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of, farming, and Garrett, we'll want to keep this muted if we can, but going over to Megaphone, and this is a viewer submission. This right here, it's not an orange crop, but this is plants outside getting completely frozen over. I saw this morning when kind of putting these together and viewing these submissions. This is, I guess I've seen something like this before. Never would I expect to see it here in Florida personally.
But the question for me is, did you spray your plants ahead of time? I think they did. Oftentimes farmers will spray their plants ahead of time to kind of put a little, it's almost to put a little coating of ice on the outside of let's say it's a strawberry, and that keeps the temperature of the strawberry at 32. It doesn't allow it to go to like 27, 26, and that keeps the strawberry alive and doesn't kill it. So it's very possible that what we're looking at here is that someone put a sprinkler on and then it froze immediately. But that actually not only protects the strawberry, but it concentrates the sugars, so the strawberry ends up being more sweeter than it would otherwise be.
So this could actually be a preventative measure and make it taste better.
It can, as long as the freeze doesn't last for too long and the farmers are able to kind of deal with it the right way,
All right, yeah, basically like to what thaw it basically out early enough. Jeff, we are talking about, of course, Megaphone submissions. We're wanting to take all of your Megaphone submissions. If you have video of snow flurries, if you have videos like the one that you saw here a moment ago with the frozen crops, anything that you have that you think is going to be interesting for us to see here, please send it over to our Report It. But also, we do want to take your comments. We're still monitoring Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. On Facebook, Jeff, we see from Emily, hey, Jeff, any chance of more flurries this morning in Pinellas?
I think we're done. I mean, if you had asked me an hour ago, I'd have said you have about a half hour left. I think we're done in Pinellas. The radar. In fact, you know what, Garrett, go back to my source, and I'll show her real quick. Let me go backwards. Just bear with me while I do this. I just need to go backwards.
Might be the other hand for you.
Oh yeah, the other hand. Okay, let's keep going. Just one more, I think. There it is. Notice that's the last 3 hours. Notice how the flurries start to disappear there over the water. So watch the Gulf, watch the beaches of St. Pete. You'll see 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, plenty of flurries, and then by 6 and 7, they're pretty much done. So, yes, there could still be a flake, but you're really going to have to squint your eyes like that to see it. I think we're pretty much done with whatever flurries we got. But a lot of folks reported flurries. It wasn't one area. I had pictures from Northport. I had pictures from Winter Haven, from Inverness, from Brooksville, from Wesley Chapel, even from parts of Tampa. So pretty much every area had snow flurries, but not everybody saw them because they were teeny tiny.
I don't know if some people are blaming you, but Amy is noticing your outfit, saying, please take off the snowflake tie.
So I started this about, 4 or 5 days ago, and I said on the air that I was not going to stop wearing the snowflake tie until it snowed. So I was putting myself in a position where if it didn't snow, I would have to wear this another 10 or 15 years in a row.
Wow.
But I was confident that we'd see some flurries. And so, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'll tell you what. I'm going to do this.
Hold on. I'm going to take this live for you.
I'm going to do this right now on the air.
Take it live.
We succeeded in getting snow flurries. So the snow flurry tie is officially coming off. I'm going to warn you, though. I have to do a show in I have a show to do in about, my IFB is coming off. See, that's a problem.
This is live TV, folks.
Yeah,
This is what happens when you try to do it live.
I have to put this tie back on for the 10 o'clock show. But for now, I'm keeping it off.
Do you have another tie to put on, Jeff, instead?
I do. I could. Yes, I do have one other tie. I don't know if it matches the outfit, but you know what? Whatever. Okay, there it is. The tie is officially being retired.
I feel like we just had a record-breaking moment here, right? Not just the record lows in Florida, but also Jeff Berardelli finally taking that tie off.
But that's where it stops. I'm not taking any other garments off.
That's where it ends, right?
That's where viewerships are probably happy for.
I think we're all grateful. We also got SML asking again, and we know that maybe there's a little bit less of a chance of this happening anymore, but is there going to be snow in Northport, Florida?
There were some snow. It's funny because we got some reports of snow flurries in Northport, Florida. In fact, one of the best videos that we have is a kid trying to catch snowflakes. I don't know if we have that.
You know what? I think we can pull it up for us, Josh.
Okay.
Let's see if we can find it.
So it's not going to snow anymore in Northport. It's done in Northport. But
still had great videos coming in from you guys on the reported tool. Thank you so much, of course, for that as Josh scrambles to find the video.
It was last night. It came in, I would say 9 or 10 o'clock last night. It was a kid with blonde hair.
Feed. Let's see.
I posted it on my Facebook and whatever the other
was that part of a Snapchat video? Do you remember as well?
It had like an emoji on it, and it was uploaded from them.
There we go.
It is.
How about that?
All right.
This is, I think, the best video. I think this is the video
Like,
that
really
wins
see it.
the event. This kid and the mom so happy in Northport, Florida, seeing flurries. So it wasn't just northern areas. It wasn't just coastal areas. Like St. Pete Beach. It was Northport, which is slightly inland, and also a little warmer. It was last night when this happened. And that's another good lesson for everybody. It does not need to be 32 for snow flurries. It doesn't. It just needs to be below freezing in the clouds, which it was. If the air temperature yesterday when it started snowing in Citrus County at like 7 p.m., 6 p.m., 5 p.m., it was like 38, 39. That's cold enough. The snow flurries will survive down to the ground because about 1,000 feet up, it's below freezing. So all the snow flurries need to do is survive from the top of a big skyscraper building to the bottom, even if the bottom temperature is only 37, 38, 39. So there you go. He's having a good time, that kid.
It's one of my favorite things to see. I remember, obviously a little bit of a different context growing up in Boston, but I remember those moments, your first snow that you get to experience. And it's cool seeing people all the way down here in Florida getting to have a little bit of that as well.
I mean, I wasn't sure I'd ever see the day. No. To be honest, I wasn't sure I would. This has been a crazy winter, and it's because the Arctic is in disarray right now. And what I mean by that is it's really warm up there. It's been really warm, 30 to 40 degrees above normal in the Arctic. Arctic sea ice is at record lows, the record lows that they've ever been. So what's happening is the Arctic is just, everything's off kilter, and and it's pushing. And what's happening is all the relatively warm air in the Arctic, because warm in the Arctic is still negative whatever.
Right.
But because things are so anomalously warm there, it's displacing the cold air masses south. So if you look at a map of the world right now, you will see it is frigid cold in the US, it is frigid cold in Germany, it is frigid cold in Russia, but then north of that and south of that, it's above normal. So when you average the Earth's temperature, we're more than 1 degree Fahrenheit above our normals, Earth globally, but the United States is on the receiving end of what's going on in the Arctic, the Arctic is in disarray right now.
So that cold for us can be deceptive, because it actually means on average.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this awesome submission from Brent over in Auburndale. This is, literally icicles forming on the trees. Mm-hmm. That's not something I was ever going to expect to see in Florida. I thought that I'd have to go, to like the Carolinas to see that at the very southernmost point in the way.
Speaking of the Carolinas, have you guys seen any of the video this morning out of the Carolinas? Holy cow. It is like a hurricane with snow along the Outer Banks. I think some folks will end up with over a foot of snow. I don't know how strong the winds are gusting. I know it's conceivable they're probably gusting to hurricane force. I've seen some of the videos, and the people that are there chasing the storm or out there in the Outer Banks, they're basically saying this is like a hurricane with snow.
It's crazy. Yeah. I want to bring up this photo here, and then there's a specific comment that I'm trying to find that goes with it. Talking about, is it safe to drive? Here it is. It's Deb is asking this right here. Are the roads safe to travel in Wesley Chapel, Dade City? Black ice?
There could be. So I would just be careful, not on main roads. Main roads would be, you'd have no problem. It would be those side roads. It would be your driveway where maybe there's a little ice here and there. I know we're not used to it. I don't think there's going to be that much black ice. But yes, because it rained yesterday and there are some areas that didn't dry, there's going to be some ice in some places. So just keep that in mind.
That's crazy. We have another comment here from Heather over on Facebook. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Jacksonville. Did Jacksonville get snow?
They did.
They did, yeah?
Mm-hmm. They did. In fact, the snow that hit Citrus County yesterday evening, not the Gulf effect stuff, but the stuff that hit earlier, like at 5, 6 o'clock last night, that also hit Tallahassee and Jacksonville as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm from Gainesville area, and I know, Jeff, yesterday you said a couple of different times that the feels like temperatures there were single digits. It was like 8?
6 to 8 degrees.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I can't imagine. I'm kind of thankful now that I don't live there anymore. But it wasn't like it was a nice, cool, nice warm time down here in Florida, in Tampa.
I will tell you, I didn't think this till I got to Chicago. The difference between 6 degrees and 28 degrees is a difference, and it is noticeable.
Big difference,
yeah. Eric on Facebook said it was 28 outside my door in Lido area of Tampa this morning. Yeah, it was like 30. My car has a little internal thermometer, if you will, or whatever. It tells me the temperature outside. It was 30 degrees driving here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's rare. Look, this is not unprecedented cold for Tampa because, again, we had the Gulf effect. We had that northwest wind keeping it slightly more mild from Tampa west into St. Pete. But anywhere east of I-75, the type of cold that we had today is about a once-in-a-decade type cold, evidenced by the fact that Bartow likely had an all-time record low. Now, we haven't been keeping records in Bartow as long as we have in places like Tampa and, in those main sites. But nevertheless, there were some monthly records set all across the state. 11 monthly records set in the U.S. Today, and about 100 daily records set across the tied or broken.
100 in one day.
So...
it's not uncommon. We see that with heat a lot. Lately, we see that with heat a lot over the past couple of years. To get a day where you have 100 record highs is nothing. But to get a day where you have 100 record lows, when you look back at the records and you look at places like Miami over the past 5 years, they have had something like 110 record highs and 0 record lows over the past 5 years. 0. Now they've had 1. Because of today. Wow. But the ratio is like 100 to 1. So record highs are a lot more common because of climate change. Record lows are very rare. So we're looking at a very rare event now and an event that we will likely not see much of in the future because we've warmed everything.
So I'm curious about that in the future. The national coverage has been all weather this week because of everything happening up and down the East Coast. And really, for the most part, the entirety of the continental U.S. I'm curious, for the rest of the winter, is this something we can expect to continue? Will it warm up everywhere, or?
Well, this is probably going to be the coldest outbreak of the year. Now that we're getting into February, usually the coldest air masses are in January. So we're not going to have another one like this. But the pattern does show that first of all, we're going to get another cold shot at the end of the week in Tampa, where we're dropping back to 39 for a low. Not 29, but 39. And the overall pattern for the next 2 weeks is a warm-up, but it's not a pattern that gives me confidence that it's going to last. So for the next month or two, I think we're in one of these in and out of cold air patterns. You can see that. So something's happening. The stratospheric polar vortex has broken into two pieces. That is why I say the Arctic is in disarray. It's called a sudden stratospheric warming, where the polar vortex breaks into two pieces and becomes very unstable, and it starts throwing cold air to the south. We know as meteorologists that when the stratosphere, which is way up, it's like 50, 60,000 feet up in the atmosphere. When that polar vortex up there breaks apart, we know that in about 2 weeks, we're about to start seeing cold air shots in the mid-latitudes, which is what happened this year, and it has never stopped. The stratospheric polar vortex has never gotten its act back together. When the polar vortex is all in one piece and it's very strong, it's like a lasso, and it traps all the cold air inside. So when it breaks apart, it releases the cold air. So we have a problem with the stratosphere. And there's research that says that human-caused climate change is causing the stratospheric polar vortex to become more unstable and more prone to these events where it splits. And that unleashes cold air in the mid-latitudes every once in a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Jeff Berardelli here, Chief Meteorologist. If you got questions for him, now is the time to ask him. Very, very busy. You've been very, very busy this past week, the last 24 hours.
Well, it's not a hurricane, so at least it's not a hurricane.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
Yeah.
And if you've got photos, videos, WFLA.com/report it. That's WFLA.com/report it. Wherever you are. If we mentioned North Carolina earlier, the Outer Banks. If you've got videos from there, if you're watching from there, we want to see them. We want to see what you guys are experiencing right now. Hey, Jeff, is the way to ask our Chief Meteorologist questions as we go through some more of these visuals here. I believe this next one is, yes, more kids experiencing snow. I don't know if this is, well, it would be for them, probably the first time here.
Yeah, that was in Palm Harbor, I think. Is that right? I can't read
or
it.
Brooksville.
Oh, is it Brooksville? Okay.
Brooksville,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
It's nice seeing, even though there is a lot of negative things happening with the cold, it's nice to see some positive of people, finding ways to enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, this has been such a novelty. I mean, it's been breaking the internet. The snow in Tampa Bay has been breaking the internet. We've been talking about it for like 5 days now. I kind of went out on a limb many, many days ago by saying I think there's going to be flurries here. So I felt tremendous relief last night when we got our first flurries. Because, it's not often that a Florida weatherman, especially a Tampa weatherman, says, I think it's going to snow in Tampa. And if it doesn't snow in Tampa, boy, do you have egg on your face.
Right.
So I'll tell you, I was like this. I was like, just a huge sigh of relief when it did finally snow last night. I know it's not much. I know we're not shoveling out. I know we don't need plows or salters. But the fact that we have flurries and it didn't really interrupt anything, I think is kind of a best bet scenario.
Well, you certainly get credit from me because I was a doubter with no information that I have. I just the little northern attitude I bring, but we had it. We have Heidi saying, "Hey Jeff, won't that cause bigger hurricanes?" So looking past this, I think she's maybe talking about the weather phenomenon the uniqueness of it. How will this impact us in the spring, in the summer? Going forward.
There should not be any correlation between the cold air right now and hurricane season. But there is something happening in the tropics that is going to affect hurricane season. Is we're transitioning from a La Nina to probably an El Nino this upcoming summer. Typically during El Ninos, we have less hurricanes or less intense hurricanes in the Atlantic. So maybe, everybody knock on wood, it will be a quieter hurricane season. But there's no telling. And again, it can be quiet, but if a hurricane hits you, it wasn't quiet.
Right. Doesn't feel too much that way in that circumstance. Going through some of these, I love
That's Tarpon Springs.
I love the amount of flashlights that are brought out.
It's the only way to do it.
Right,
it's the only way to see the snowflakes.
It's fascinating. It's so cool to see. I like this video in particular because I think it kind of screams Florida more than some others, especially Tampa, because we're seeing the water right there.
You have the docks.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible to see. This next one's from Spring Hill, I believe. See him falling over the basketball hoop there.
I was hoping that a band would set up over one spot and it would be a little heavier than this so we could get at least a dusting on a car. That did not materialize.
Someone pull out the shovel just for a little bit of fun.
Or a brush, whatever, but we didn't need any of that because, this was just too light to accumulate. So hopefully people are happy with what they got. I'm just slightly disappointed. Now, where's that from?
This is from...
Let's pull it up full so it's easier to read here.
Parish. So that's Manatee County. That's Manatee County near Bradenton. So,
Here's a photo. We talk about snow on the windshield. A little bit of snow there. I'm not sure you need the scraper for this one.
I don't think you can sled down that windshield.
No, I don't think so.
But either that or it's just a very dirty car, or maybe a combination of both. So that's Sarasota Bee Ridge. So that's inland Sarasota. Yeah.
Let's see here. Again, a lot of these videos on
Bluffs.
the flashlights.
Okay. Yep, Pinellas County.
This one's interesting. We got some. This might be a Ring camera that we're getting here, but you can see a lot more.
Bloomingdale. That's Hillsborough County.
And we see plenty here. Let's see what we've got. And this one coming in.
Oh, that looks like a blizzard.
That's right.
For us, that's a blizzard.
Board up the windows.
Citrus Park at 10:10. Yeah, that makes sense. That Citrus Park, Lake Tarpon area, Citrus Park, that northwest to southeast from Lake Tarpon towards Citrus Park, we're in kind of the sweet spot last night, and so I'm not surprised that some of the best flurries came from there.
Yeah, while we're looking at these videos here, again, we're monitoring your comments on our Facebook, our YouTube, our TikTok, and somebody here asked if the flurries, if the flakes stuck at all in Tallahassee. I know you mentioned they didn't really accumulate down this way. Did they have any accumulation at all in North Florida at all?
It may be a dusting. I mean, it was cold enough, and it snowed a little harder there than it did here, so I imagine there was a slight dusting. But in Tallahassee, this is like the second or third time it snowed this winter. So, I mean, for them, they're old pros.
They've got it covered now. Here's talk about a dusting on a car. You can barely see much happening here, but then it picks up.
There it is.
Wow. Is that a blizzard?
That's a blizzard.
That's
it's
right.
a blizzard, a flurry blizzard.
That's
blizzard.
Vicky and Parrish there. Yeah.
I can't take credit for that. That was Al Roker. Al Roker came up with the blizzard term. Yeah.
That's funny. Let's see what we've got here. Seminole Heights.
There we
Saying
go.
it counts. It sure does.
Is that what the person said?
Yeah. Oh, you can't see it right now because the banner's covering it.
Here, hold on.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, I know it's just the flashlight. I mean.
Yep.
I
That's
like the
John there.
I like the snow symbol. I like the icon, the emojis that they had.
Yeah, it's.
Listen, this is a kind of event that only happens, as you mentioned, once every couple of decades, I guess, is the best way to put it. You got to have a little bit of fun with it. You got to get on, use your filters, do all of the fun stuff, especially if you're somebody who's not been affected by this before. I mean, it's a rare experience for everybody.
Worth mentioning that tonight's lows will be between 25 and 30 again. It's going to be just as cold temperature-wise, not wind chill-wise, and the freeze is going to last just as long. And if you're going out to the Lightning game tonight at Raymond James Stadium, wait a second. Did I just say Lightning game at Raymond James Stadium?
You did.
If you're going out to that, I'm going to just say likely it's the coldest event that's ever been held at Raymond James because our high today is only going to be 45, and the event starts at, 6 or 7?
Yeah, it starts tonight.
6:30, I think, is puck drop.
Yeah, the Stadium Series with the Lightning are going to play out there. It's kind of funny. I think this is the first time they've ever done this
and
in
it's the
Tampa.
coldest, basically the coldest day we've had.
And it happens on the day where snow flurries happen.
I know.
A little ironic right there. Fun little coincidence, if you will.
Against, the Boston Bruins, my Boston Bruins.
Right,
Go
Josh is a
Bruins,
big
had to get
Boston
that in
guy.
there, unfortunately. But I think Tampa probably takes this one. I want to talk about, we've got some of these. This is Joe the tripod dog in a little bit of an outfit here.
Joe's looking good.
Is there any implication, though, on animals right now?
Sure, you had to take them inside.
Yeah.
And all husbands, too. You needed to take your husbands inside. Okay, don't leave them outside.
That's right.
We kind of let people know, please take your pets inside. Please take your sensitive plants inside or cover them. Do what you can. But yes, pets had to come inside.
I know my dog this morning when I let him out to go to the bathroom. He took 2 steps out the door and turned around and said, I don't think so.
He's a
back
Florida
inside.
dog.
Yes, he is.
Dogs can be so... I have a dog, Millie. She's adorable. But she is such a pain when it rains. She will not... I have to physically drag her outside to go to the bathroom because she does not want... So dogs can be kind of... It's funny. They're fine when they're born up until like a year or two. But once they're fully domesticated, they don't want to even leave the house.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I
My
can't.
dog drinks coffee.
Whenever I try to take my dog on walks, we get about a half a block down, and then he turns around and is like, all right, I'm ready to go back. Let's we're done.
Dogs
we're done
have really
with this.
what we have done to dogs is interesting.
It's interesting how many different personalities dogs can have, even around. We have 3 dogs at home, and again, this is a little bit more north, but it snowed there. One of them loves it. The other one begs to come inside, and the other one just sits there staring out towards the
They're just like
forest.
people. They have different personalities. I had a dog, General. Actually, no. So I had a dog, General here, but Millie, my current dog, Millie, in New York City, because I lived in Manhattan last time. Well, she loved jumping and playing, and there's nothing that she loved more than going out in Central Park when it just snowed in Powder and running all over the park and having a great time. I mean, she's living her best life. So a lot of dogs live their best life in snow.
Yeah, I remember I had 2 dogs a few years ago. We went to North Carolina to visit family during the winter. We had some snow up there. It was the first time they'd ever seen snow. They were very excited about it the first 2 days. And then the rest of the week, they were like, okay, I think I'm over this. Can we go back to the beaches, to the palm trees? Let's get back to Florida.
It's absolutely fascinating to see. And I love seeing people, put in some work editing here. We've got this snow in Lando Lakes, Florida. Speaking of dogs, right?
Snowman.
Is that a snowman?
It's a snowman.
Wow.
Well, I don't think they made that snowman out of the flurries
I don't
that
think so.
fell.
I think, it's okay to believe, though, in a little...
Yeah, you know what? That's true, right? We can believe in some magic, I guess. A little
Maybe
bit of whimsy.
They froze the snow themselves. But again, if you want to see your media, your videos, your photos, heck, if you put an edit together like Eugenia, hopefully I pronounced that right. Apologies if not. We'll put it up. Again, that's WFLA.com/report it, and we'll react to them. And if you've got any more questions about the weather, the coming weather, the weather we had, maybe it's not even a question, maybe it's comment about what happened in your neck of the woods. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Garrett. Hey, Josh is how you get them on screen here. As we go through a couple more of these that we've gotten in. Again, we've seen this one a couple times. I think you've used this one a couple times on some of yours.
Yeah, this is a good one. St. Pete. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As we go through here. This is a little bit more like you're getting good. The light's doing a lot of work here, but
This is just
some coming down in Winter Haven.
And that was at 2:55 this morning.
So some people did stay up on Snow Watch.
I mean, when you think about it, that was only a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, I mean,
It's crazy.
a lot of folks saw them. I wasn't one of the lucky ones to see it, but I was thinking about chasing snow last night when I left the 11 o'clock show. I was like, all right, maybe I'll go chase. But I realized that all I was going to see at best was this, which is just, if I look at the light and I squint my eyes, I'll see some extremely light flurries. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't materializing into a situation where we had real bona fide snow showers that were going to drop like a dusting. Because I would have done that, but I wasn't gonna run around and try to chase what appears to be dandruff coming from the sky.
Right. That's a good way of describing it. We've got Brenda with a question. What happens if pipes freeze? What's the implication of that?
They can crack.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can crack.
Well, the implication is a pretty expensive plumbing bill.
That's right.
Yeah. We got another one here from Anna on Facebook. Hey, Jeff, any snow in Sarasota? I think
Not
we talked
anymore,
about
but there were some flurries. There definitely were some flurries. I could see them on the radar. In fact, you know what, Garrett? Do you want to go back?
Yeah, let's do
this
that.
is great. This is great, by the way, from Anna. I like that. Let me see if I can go back to the radar. Oh, you got to go on this side.
Other
That's
hand, there you
this
go.
Side. This is the magic side. If it goes, let me see. Hold on a second.
Live TV, folks. This is the technical difficulties part of it all.
Although it's not TV, so
Well,
Live digital,
streaming,
right?
That's
Live
right.
Oh, there it
streaming.
is. There
Here
it is.
we go.
Okay. So Sarasota, you were in it earlier. See, this is the 3-hour loop. In fact, it might be a 6-hour loop. Let me see. It's a 6-hour loop, and you can see those snow bands just offshore, and you can see how they were grazing the coast around Longboat Key and Sarasota. They're gone now, but there they are, right there. It's zooming out. I guess Juliana's probably working on it right now, but you can clearly see there were some snow bands out there off, and some of them grazed the coast, St. Pete Beach, Sunshine Skyway, Longboat Key, Bradenton, Sarasota. That was the best place to be in the middle of the night and this morning, but as you can see, they're all gone now. And that's pretty much it.
All right, we got another one coming in from Amy on Facebook. Hey, Jeff, can we expect another cold blast? I think we mentioned this earlier.
Oh, that's even better. Juliana really figured out how to get that, make it look really good.
There you go.
Yes, there's going to be another cold blast on a Thursday, and not Thursday night. So Friday morning will be in the 30s mostly. We could see a couple upper 20s around, Citrus County.
So just in time for the weekend again.
Well, it's just one day, and then it's going to warm up over the weekend. It won't last more than a day or two. But there's still a propensity in the weather pattern, at least right now, for some cold shots. Although overall, the pattern will be a general trend towards milder.
All right.
How about that?
Let's go back to some of these megaphone submissions, Josh.
I know we're coming through here as we get some new ones.
I'm going to have to probably break in about 3 minutes or so.
Totally get
Sounds
it. Yeah,
good.
Because
Jeff
we have the
Berardelli.
9 o'clock show coming up soon.
Of course, on WFLA. You can find that on WFLA.com, on our CTV app, of course, on the your news channel 8 here on TV. So, yeah, Jeff, we'll keep you for as long as we can keep you, but we understand, of course, when you got to go.
And again, this is basically final call for questions for the chief meteorologist here at WFLA. This is a frosted lawn and Land of Lakes. I like that it's LOL.
You know, I'm not going to lie. I saw LOL and I thought, oh, well, that's not nice. We don't know where this is. You said Land of Lakes, and I was like,
oh, that's really funny.
that makes more sense to me now. Sorry.
We get in some more of this as we pull it up here. This might be a resubmission. We'll see. This looks like a similar angle that we've had.
Just a reminder, folks, if you want any questions for Jeff, leave a hashtag #HeyJeff question in the comments section on YouTube, Facebook, or TikTok as we are running through the last couple of these before Jeff has to run downstairs.
Some flurries in Bloomingdale. Again,
Yep.
these ring camera footages.
We've gotten a bunch of them, the ring cameras.
Yeah, they show it off
Pretty well. Yeah, they do.
Yes, the black and white definitely helps. You don't have to hold the flashlight out.
Let's see here. Here's
Just
another.
if you're just tuning in, we'll warm up to like 45, 46 today. If we only get to 46, that would be tied for a record low maximum, so the lowest it's been during the day. That means temperatures are going to plummet tonight. So if you headed out to Raymond James Stadium, it will be in the 30s. So you will need to really dress appropriately.
Good for hockey, bad for you just being outside.
And the duration of the freeze tonight is going to be very similar. We're looking at probably, in some cases, up to 10 hours, 12 hours of a freeze for our farmers. Farmers are going to be up all night, so have them in your thoughts. And then we'll get some relief. I mean, even though tomorrow night, so tonight, it'll be in the 20s inland. Tomorrow night, it'll be near freezing in some of the inland areas too. So even they're not totally out of the woods tomorrow. And then Friday morning, again, we're predicting 39 in Tampa, which means once again that we're going to be near freezing. Not as far down in the 20s, but near freezing again briefly on Friday morning. So, this is a tough time. Farmers are losing a lot of sleep, and hopefully they can get through all this without any major crop damage.
Yeah, our thoughts are with everybody who is affected by this, as you mentioned, who are raising produce, have animals, anybody who is negatively affected.
What is that, 17?
17.
Where is that? Zephyr Hills.
Pull that up here. Yeah, Zephyr Hills. Elaine here sent that in.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's not out of the question. I mean, Inverness was 20 this morning. That seems a little low, but it is possible. It's in the realm of possibilities that it was 17. Wow. All right, guys, I better go because I have to eat a little something before the 9 o'clock show, or I'm going to be a very angry weatherman. We don't like angry weathermen.
No, we can't have that. Jeff Berardelli, Chief Meteorologist here at WFLA. Thank you so much.
Of course, my pleasure.
Jeff, ladies and gentlemen.
Just a reminder, Jeff, put on a tie that's not the snowflake tie.
That's right.
When you get on air. All right.
As we got, I love these seeing, I don't know, I'm a sucker for like old thermometers.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I remember I grew up in a very rural area. I grew up with a lot of farmland, grew up on farms, in fact. And this is actually a very common sight. This is something that you'll see a lot in rural Florida, which is kind of, it does the job. You don't need anything fancy. It does the job for you.
Now I'm looking at this one.
Yeah.
And
let's pull it full for you so we can see a little bit better
I
here.
have to imagine this is an under reading or an over. Well, it would be under, but it would be an extreme reading.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know that we saw anywhere in Brooksville with 11 degrees.
That looks like, yeah, so we're 11, 12 degrees.
Around
or
between 9
so.
and 10 degrees Celsius.
Actually, it's probably closer to 14, if I'm reading that right, which I could not be.
Which you might be.
Yeah. So, listen, as we talked about, that's certainly possible. Maybe that's a factor of it, whether the wind chill maybe affects these. I don't actually know how the old thermometers do in terms of measuring actual temperatures versus feels like temperatures. But, yeah, listen, even if it didn't get that low, it's still pretty cold for Florida, for Brooksville here.
Now, this next image, not a thermometer, I find this funny because it just says sledding Florida style. And so I'm curious to see what we've got on this. Do you see any sledding happening? Are we talking about the water drops sledding down the grass? Are we talking about
maybe it's the moisture on the grass in the morning. Maybe that gives you enough of a slickness to sled on the grass. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Shane, if you're watching right
Shane,
now,
if you're here, what did you mean by this
drop
caption?
this down in the chat.
We got Jonathan sending in a little bit of a. I'll add it to the playlist here. A little video. We'll have to see exactly what he's referring to. One of my favorite photos that we've seen, though, just because I think, you talk when in an event like this, you talk about the impact, right? What does this mean for me? And in this right here, I mean, we've talked about the weather, but if you're driving, you got to be careful out there. Okay.
Yes.
And Jeff did talk about this. There can be black ice, maybe not on a main road, but on to some of these these back roads, right? You got to be very careful about how you're driving, especially being in an area where many people here probably don't have much experience driving over ice, don't know how it feels.
No, definitely not. I mean, some experience on wet roads, hydroplaning, things like that. This is obviously a very different beast, a very different animal. So yeah, the Floridians out here who are dealing with this type of cold that we don't see very often. I hate to say that this is good practice for the next time it comes around. But try not to get on the roads. Let's not do that. Let's not make any more unnecessary risks than what you have to do. Before we move on here, I know unfortunately Jeff is out of the. Actually, he's in the room still, so maybe he'll be able to hear us. We'll overhear some of this, but I just wanted to pull up this comment from Mike. I have to give a compliment to Jeff.
right.
He followed it up with great forecast for flurries in the Tampa area. We're gonna pretend like Jeff Berardelli's not in the room still and can hear us
you.
and is beaming. Oh, he's going to walk over and say thank you.
He's getting his flowers here in the winter.
Nothing brings Jeff back into the stream like compliments for Jeff.
I was eating pineapples, so I'm eating healthy. If my wife's watching, I'm eating healthy this morning.
There you go.
Mike wanted to give you his compliments here.
Well, thank you, Mike. Mike Buckingham, great forecast for the Flurries in Tampa Bay. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, this was it's a tough one, but after I've been doing this 30 years, you kind of know when to take chances.
Yeah.
When when you're probably going to be right and you're willing to go out on a limb, and there's other times where you're like, I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
So this was one of those. Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
It was super cool for me to see the progress of the prediction, and then some of the doubters, and then everybody start going, oh, this is going to happen. Oh, he's right.
I do remember when Jeff said this, and people were just like, who knows if that's really true? Maybe this is just Jeff being Jeff. Kudos to you, Jeff. Great job. You absolutely called this one.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, now I'm going to go eat
now,
my
now
pineapple.
you can leave for
there
sure.
we go.
Thank you, Jeff, as always. A couple other comments on here. Why is my water out in Lakeland?
I saw that.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I have to imagine the cold probably has something to do with it. Hopefully that is not a situation that lasts too long for you here. Let's pull this up here. What is this?
This is that video, and this is kind of funny. I think this encapsulates how some areas are really, we come into question, what do we get to call snow? What do we get to call a flurry? We're grasping at it here, I think, in this video, pointing out little glares in the wood.
Oh,
but no,
you
you
saw
can
another
see
fall
right there in the
there.
bottom right, you got a little bit of a flake on that wood there that's coming in.
No, I think that counts. Josh, I think you owe Jonathan an apology.
Yeah, you know what,
Yeah.
Jonathan, I was talking about it, and then it happened. So, and that is
The universe has a funny way of really showing you up right at the
Brooksville,
right time.
Brooksville, Florida.
Yes, that's what it looks like here. Yeah, Brooksville.
How about that? And again, as we continue here,
You're gonna get there.
WFLA.com/report it.
Yes, you can bring those videos in, any of your videos, your photos of the flurries last night, or maybe you woke up and you've got some frozen crops, you've got something outside that is of note. Please send that in to report it. And as always, of course, we're going to try and highlight any other questions or comments that you might have on social media, whether it be on Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube. We have a couple more minutes left in this stream before we wrap things up. But
And
please feel free to send in your stuff.
This is one of my favorite things, and I love how Jeff described this, because I would have just been believing, I don't know what I would have believed led to this happening.
No.
But those who, sprayed their plants, sprayed their farm, their farmland, and you get things like this.
Yeah.
Where the plant then freezes at 32, or the plant is frozen around 32 degrees and is then safer for whatever temperature drops come in.
I want to point out really quickly, I was not laughing at this photo. I was laughing at a comment that we just got. It says, Jeff nailed the forecast. Great stream. Hey, Garrett. Hey, Josh. The problem is look who sent that in.
Yes.
WFLA. Oh, that's JB Buno. Look at that, JB. Hey, man, thank you so much for watching, obviously. And it's fantastic to have your boss supporting you.
That's right. Actually, right below that, an important thing as we talk about black ice and the implications of that, for those who are not as familiar to the phenomenon, we've got this right here, which is pointing out bridges do freeze first. So if you're on a route, that might have a bridge. Just be a little bit more wary today, driving today and tomorrow, as you go about your day, as
Probably
you go about your commutes.
Probably a good piece of advice, no matter where you're going. But yes, especially if you're going anywhere over the water, just be aware that it could be dangerous road conditions while these are freeze warning in effect. So yeah, just be safe out there. Try not to make this any worse than it has to be. It's cold. It's bad enough already. Right?
That's right. And just going through some of these flurry photos.
I'll pull this back up. I really want to look at this photo again here. I mean, look at that. Just the icicles forming on the plants is it's crazy.
The fact that it's happening
in Florida. This is something that's happening in Florida.
Crazy.
Right.
This one you did.
I'm going to wear the tie for the show.
Uh-oh.
At the end of the show, the grand finale is going to be me taking the tie off.
We have a tie update.
All right, yes. Hold on. We got to go, just you and me, we got to get back on screen for this. So Jeff Berardelli, as he is walking down to our studio to go do our 9 o'clock newscast this morning, let us know that he will, in fact, be putting the ice tie, the snowflake tie back on for the newscast. But
the tie will be back.
Yeah, but a little spoiler alert, you want to stay till the end of the newscast. You don't want to miss the finale of his weather forecast.
Amy, right, who made the comment?
Yes.
Amy, I think you're going to be happy.
Yeah. Make sure you watch the 9 o'clock news because Jeff's gonna do something just special for all of you people who are just kind of skeptical of that tie.
There's one video I want to.
Let's see.
Well, I want to double check before we show it, but it looks to be cool. How about that?
Yeah.
On this cool morning.
Come on now. Doing some puns to end the stream.
Let's see here. We'll get into review. Before that, I do. People were talking about the grass freezing, and I think it was this photo again that was taking them there. It's such a funny. It's interesting, and maybe I'm nerdy for this, and I'll own it. Oh, this is a great video. Okay, we talk about sledding Florida style. I think this was maybe this caption here, because I think this is also from Shane. We're about to see it.
Might have gone to this video. So we figured out the mystery.
This is sledding Florida style. How about this? Coming in from Shane in Dundee. Oh, the dog comes over. This is very fun.
See, this all makes sense, Shane. Wow.
Now we got it. Look at the very end too. It's very fun. What is that in the water? Is that a person fishing? Is it somebody out in the boat?
Listen, there's one thing about Florida, Josh, that you're going to learn.
I think I'm learning it right now.
There's a reason that the Florida man jokes happen, and it's because it doesn't matter what is happening. Florida is going to find a way to stand out. And if you're fishing on the water in 30-degree weather, you're standing out, at least as far as I'm concerned, man. That's crazy. And then, of course, the sled, obviously. We're kind of burying the lead on
this video.
Nothing
is
more Florida than sledding down your frozen grass.
Well, and the fact that you wouldn't own a sled in Florida.
Absolutely
this is
not.
in a storage container, storage bin, and very bundled up there. It's nice to see, though. Again, I talk about it brings back memories for myself. Which is, I remember the first time I was sledding. There's a little bit more snow on my hill than I think there is here. But hey, however you get it done, right?
Yeah, I can't say that I've had a significant cold experience. Most of my experiences, I grew up, like I said, in rural Florida. And this is about the time we were playing football. And most of my quote unquote snow stories or my cold weather stories are all how much I hated practicing in high school on football field. Because
that's football weather, man.
Well, but it's no one tells you how the cold just kind of makes your body a little bit more sensitive to everything.
Yes.
And so when you're doing full contact practices or games, man, it wakes you up fast. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's not nearly as fun as one might think it would be.
Yeah, people always said this is football weather. Really, my own personal thought is that a hot downpour is football weather. That's the kind of stuff, the muggy, rainy football games. Those are the ones I've always loved the most. But the cold's okay. It's a nice second.
Very interesting how regionally you might have a different opinion on what is or is not football weather. We got a couple. I think Jeff kind of queued this up. We got a couple more submissions of windshields After we talked
Let's see
about
'em.
will it get onto the windshield as it loads up here? Gonna do my double check run through. See, this is fun because you could probably all of that goes away the second you turn on the windshield wiper.
The second the sun comes out.
That's true.
I mean, it's
That's
just
true.
going to look like it rained on your windshield last night once the sun pops out there.
This from Newport at 11 p.m.
Jason, thank you for that submission. Really quickly, before we continue on, Josh, I do want to just quickly say, right, so we're currently streaming on our CTV app. We're streaming on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. We are going to wrap up on our CTV coverage here in a couple of minutes. At 9 o'clock, it's going to switch over to our newscast. We may continue on YouTube and Facebook for a few more minutes as we're getting submissions, as we're getting questions. But just as a heads up for if you're watching on CTV, you can expect the 9 o'clock news to pop up here in about 2 minutes. So we'll probably do a quick little thank you wrap here around that time.
And you'll see that tie transition.
Let's just make sure you watch it if you are invested
That's the place
in
to
the
be, right?
snowflake tie. Absolutely. Let's go back to some of these submissions for you, Josh.
Here we've got. See if we can see it a little bit. Says there's some ice. Is that the
I can
ice on
see
the
it
bottom?
at the bottom there.
Yeah, from the sprinkler going off.
Yeah,
hitting the bottom of that door.
that's crazy things I never thought that I would actually see.
Oh,
in
and now we
Florida.
got some more in here. Let's get them all from. These are 3 coming in from Denise. These are all very fun photos. We'll get them loaded in here. I don't want to spoil these, but we'll get them one by one.
All right, of course, yeah. This submission right here that you're seeing right now is from Angela and Wesley Chapel. So thank you, Angela, for that submission. Like I said, guys, we're going to be wrapping up our CTV coverage here in a second.
We're having a little bit of a skating party here.
Is that like it looks like a frozen
Is that
bird
a bird
feeder?
bath?
Or a bird bath? That makes more sense. Bird feeder. What am I talking about?
Did you ever have a bird bath growing up?
No, we did have a bird feeder in the back of the yard, but never a bird bath. All right, really quickly, this is a great photo. Thank you so much, Denise. But we have got about 30 seconds left on our CTV coverage. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this up here now. And we are going to just really quickly hit a thank you for watching slate and then come back for our social media audiences just to make a little clean break here for CTV coverage. So if you're watching on CTV, yes, absolutely. Thank you guys for watching and submitting your questions and all of the other good stuff. We'll be back here in just a few moments if you're still watching on our social media.
And just like that.
Just like that, we're back. Very easy, very nice. Just wanted to make sure that the CTV audience had a clean break there. All right. And of course, if you are watching on social media and you don't have our CTV app, please try and go and download that WFLA app on your smart devices, Samsung TV, Roku, Apple, Fire Stick, Amazon, all the good stuff.
And as we begin to wrap up here, again, this is kind of probably the final call for any comments, any questions you might have for us, or just something you want to say. Again, this is Denise, part of the photo package she sent in. If you want to submit something, WFLA.com/report it.
Yes.
And that's how you get on the program, so to speak.
This feels like Florida's version of the Sword and the Stone, right? This is like whoever pulls these scissors from this frozen bird bath gets to, I don't know, be the mayor for a day.
That's right. It's the Gasparilla following
style,
Gasparilla.
maybe. Yeah, we had Gasparilla yesterday, of course, of cold weather out there. Maybe this is how you can be part of it.
And this right here is another fun one. A bird in the bird bath. Is the bird now ice skating?
I guess so. I mean, maybe the bird's coming down and like a bit annoyed, I would say. If I were
confused even?
If I were about to get into a bath and suddenly found that all of the water was frozen, I'd probably be a little confused and annoyed as well. Yeah, absolutely. These are awesome photos, though, Denise. Thank you so much for submitting these here.
As we begin to come to a little bit of a close, a slowdown here, I want to bring up a couple things. Apparently, this is a Hey Jeff who's not in here anymore.
Yes,
but we'll still look at it. Apparently, there is power out. Power is out in downtown Lakeland. So again, be safe. In situations like that. Hopefully, it's not out long, but if you feel chilly, wrap up, put on layers.
It's definitely a rough time for Floridians who are not used to this kind of weather, whether it be, the power outages, the ice on the roads, the freezing possibility on the roads. and of course your pipes. I mean, hopefully that if you were in one of these areas that was going to have prolonged freeze, you were able to let your faucets kind of have that bit of a drip overnight. I know I did, just to make sure that your pipes didn't freeze. But yeah, just stay safe out there. It's definitely a strange time in Florida for a lot of people.
Got a new video in here.
Let's pull it up here.
Let's see. It's a long one, so we'll do a little bit of a double check here.
In the meantime, Denise, thank you again for sending these.
I know.
in.
I want to go back just one more time because she set this up, and it is
The ice skating was
incredible.
great. It's so fantastic.
Wow, this video. I'm gonna let it run just to double check, make sure we're all good. Garrett, were you ever a watcher of The Simpsons? And is that a coconut in the back? Those are my two questions for you here.
I don't know if that's a coconut. I was trying to figure that out myself, honestly, but I did love The Simpsons when I was growing up. Especially Lisa had the Treehouse. I don't remember what they're called. The horror anthology episodes where she would reenact like Edgar Allan Poe stories as episodes. Those were always a fun time. So definitely loved The Simpsons. And funny that if you go back, you fall down a rabbit hole a little bit. Have you ever looked at The Simpsons predicting the future?
I have.
Yeah.
It is. There's enough there to go. It's interesting.
Yeah, I just want to know, the writers and the show directors, how did you know? You have a time machine. Let us know how you knew.
The only other question, we've got this video coming up here now. The only other question that popped into my head is, Denise, is there more than one bird bath in your backyard?
Or did you do all? Yeah, because how did
you
the
move the
scissors-
bird bath? Because we had the scissors,
Yeah.
and then we had as well
that far away shot?
that far away shot. In fact, I can just show it right here.
Here, let's pull it up.
Are these the same bird bath? These are the types of questions that we ask here. This is
Hard-hitting
journalism
right
from
here.
WFLA Now. Is this the same bird bath? Is it different? Did she maybe take the photo of the bird and then pull it in and set up the Simpsons? These are the questions I'm sure on everyone's mind. As we go back, though, to some Flurry footage from last night, I believe last night, submitted now. How about this?
Oof. See, that looks a little bit heavier than just a light flurry to me. But then again, I'm from Florida. Anything is a heavier flurry than,
That's right.
than what you might expect. Yeah, it looks like there's the basketball hoop that they probably laid down, I assume, to deal with the wind. Yeah, you're right, though. We talked about earlier how these Ring doorbell cams, because they shoot in black and white, how much easier it is to see the flurries on these Ring doorbell cams, whereas if you're filming in color, you have to take the flashlight out just to try and get some footage of these snow flurries overnight.
Well, and it makes me curious. First off, we got to get that basketball hoop back up because as a
Basketball fan?
as a basketball fan, as a high school basketball player,
Well,
I
you're
can't.
Also incredibly tall. Let's just talk about this. Josh is a very tall man, much taller than I am, so it's probably easier to play basketball when you are already about eye level with the hoop. So
That is right. I do have a little bit of an advantage. Here's a fun one coming in. Appears to a little bit of a flurry. Cat went outside, and
Cat's not bothered by the cold.
no,
Look at that
cat
cat.
is enjoying it.
Where is this
and-
at? This is
South
Venice.
Venice,
Florida. Okay, around 1 a.m.
And then there it is. That's what the cat was watching
Yeah.
and got to experience. I'm always grateful. And this is the stuff I love.
Cat went inside.
Cat went
was
inside.
Like, never mind.
But Neil, thank you for putting that footage together and then
Yes.
submitting it. And a little bit of an edit here from Neil. We appreciate it.
I got to tell you, Neil, your cat is more lively than I am. At 1 a.m., I was like, no, I'm asleep. I'm in bed.
You can even see in the back screen, I just saw it. You can see some of the flurries going and
We'll
on
pull
the
it up
repeat.
a little bit. We're trying to get that footage on the repeat here.
That is crazy. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's.
Oh, I see it there. Yeah. Woof. Okay.
We'll show this. Let me see. Actually, I'm gonna do a little live fact check. How about that? Huh?
Ooh. Life. What are we fact checking?
The most recent comment we got.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No, I think that might be right.
I think
remember
it
that.
sounds right. Well, interesting. Okay.
Real quick, Doreen, we just took her video a moment ago. Hey, Jeff, unfortunately, had to go downstairs already, but she says, we did put the basketball hoop down. It was extremely windy in Newport Richie. That was that previous video that
That
we
is
saw.
smart.
Very smart.
That is
Doreen.
smart to put
Absolutely.
it down. Yeah. It is bizarre. The last time it snowed in Tampa, 1976, exactly 50 years ago. 76, 77, around there. Regardless, it is crazy that it's been this long.
Yeah.
Since we got to be a part of it, and we got to witness it, and now we get to talk about it for years to come.
Absolutely. Josh, for anyone who doesn't know, we're going to just really quickly, before we wrap up here, where I want to introduce the audiences to Josh Scott a little bit more. You had you on one or two streams at this point, but Josh, new employee here, he's just started with us here in the Stream Center. You came from Maryland by way of Chicago, if I remember correctly.
That is, yeah. I've been all over.
So Josh moved here with the expectation that he would not have to deal with this cold, and now, of course, one of his first assignments is covering the first snow in almost.
My first real assignment is snow coverage, and I think it is objectively funny. I wouldn't have expected that to be what would be the first thing here, but here we are, and sometimes you get surprised by things as things are continuing to come in here to WFLA.com/report it. If there was any tell that I am new to being on the mic, it's how I say WFLA.
You'll get there.
A little bit of a tongue twister for me.
You'll get there. Don't worry.
Let's see. Doing our quick run through, making sure. Yeah, that's fascinating. So this is a ice-filled fire pit.
Oh,
we're getting straight ice. Lots of Lakeland submissions.
Well, yeah. I mean, man, look at that. It's funny. If you would have gotten more rain, this could almost have been a recreation of the bird bath video.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, listen. The good news is it's in the right place to probably get melted quite quickly.
There are two types of people, right?
Right.
The one with the ice in the fire pit, and then the one with the ice in the bird bath.
Yes, there you go.
Maybe we can get a little skating party going in the fire pit as well. This is another fascinating video coming in from Ruth. We'll double check it here. But talk about, this is a great video. I know I'm kind of hyping it up here before viewership. But again, if you want to get your content up, WFLA.com/report it. If you want to get your comment up, #HeyJosh, #HeyGarrett. And he's not in here, but you can do it.
If you hashtag Hey Jeff, yeah, we can make do.
Here it is. So this is not theirs. This is their neighbor's frozen fountain. Look at this video coming in from Winter Haven.
Oh my!
How about this?
Yeah, I mean, so
this is I could probably watch this on loop for 30 minutes.
So I'm assuming that this is one of those fountains. All right, obviously it's going to. They must have left it on overnight. It looks like it's still working, but yeah, frozen through in many places and many parts. Man, that it almost makes it look like it was intentional. Like this was an intentional piece that they carved into the fountain to make it look like that. That is incredible. That is amazing.
It's very, very cool. It's cool. It'd be cool if this was happening in, New York, but it's happening here, and it makes it that much cooler.
Absolutely.
We'll go through some of these comments here. We've got Toby saying it's windy in Venice, no snow, one day closer to summer. That is true. Welcome to February, everybody. We've made it.
That's right. It is February 1st, isn't it? Man,
it's crazy.
Time flies when you're really cold outside.
Thank you, Heidi. I appreciate that. SML asking, hey, Jeff, any rain in the Northport area?
Well, Jeff is on our News Channel 8 programming right now for the 9 o'clock news. I'm sure his forecast will tell you all you need to know about any rain in Northport. Unfortunately, we are not meteorologists. I cannot help you with that too much, but watch the News Channel 8 at 9 o'clock here. That program just started, so I'm sure you haven't missed the forecast.
Mary used, this might be the first, hey, Josh, should we have left the pool pump on in Clearwater even though it was below freezing? It's a good question, Mary.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have the qualifications to properly answer that in any way that I'd feel comfortable giving advice towards.
That's totally fair. I mean, listen, all I do know is that, much like the advice they tell you for freezing pipes, to leave it running, to try and leave the water running through there to help help your pipes from freezing over. Possibly. I don't know for sure.
I can't imagine it would be incredibly problematic, especially now as things start to thaw out.
It's probably better than leaving it still.
A good question, though, if, Jeff talked about, we might see some freezing temperatures again tonight. That might be something, to research a little bit and then say, all right, do we leave it on twice? It might be helpful, though, again, keeping the water flowing.
We had a question here about the water fountain and if it's where it's located. You can look up there. It's in Winter Haven. Up in the top right corner, you can see Ruth sent it in on Report It. So in Winter Haven is where these came in.
And Mary also saying it wasn't below. Then I think you're probably okay. But again, don't take my word as gospel on that. Let's check Megaphone one more time. I know we got some more submissions. We'll see if anything else came through. I really love, I don't want to rank favorites here, but the cat video is great. The sledding video is fantastic. And this video is very, very fun to look at.
Some absolute awesome videos and submissions you guys are bringing in. Really quickly, while you're looking through all of these submissions for our next one, I just want to show us off our tower camera here.
Not snowing right there.
No, looking over the river. No snow, but it is absolutely very cold, very chilly outside. Just taking a quick look here at the view from outside. You wouldn't be able to tell from this shot that you're here in Florida and that this is like a cold, wintry feel outside.
So this was probably a weird question in general, but maybe a question more for Jeff. Maybe another time I'll ask it. I've always had this theory, though, and it's probably not a theory. There's probably a true scientific reason for it. Are we able to go back to that shot real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, and maybe it's just my perception of feeling the cold, I think this image looks distinctly different versus, and I'm not talking about how the greenery is affected, but that's probably the answer is why it looks different. I think if it were 70 degrees, it would look different outside. And I don't know why that is. I don't think the positioning of the sun changes that dramatically versus if it were, by one day.
I mean, it could be just when the sun is out, everything shines a little bit brighter there. I don't know, Josh. I don't know why it would be any different, but yeah.
I'm just curious.
What we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to take this photo. We're gonna have to take it, and then in a couple of months, hopefully when it's nice and warm outside, we'll take this. Next time we're on screen.
That's right. A little callback to the winter, the snow stream.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to have to do. I just saw here it's 33 in West Palm Beach. West Palm Beach is actually the market that I was in before I came over here. So we're feeling for my people over there.
We're going band for band now on fountains over on Megaphone.
It's pulling back up over here.
As it loads in here to the queue. Give it 1 second. So this is obviously the first fountain we got.
I don't think we got another fountain. Ruth, yep. Unless you count the bird bath.
I might have to load it again. I don't know that it'll come up. Let's see.
No worries. Oh.
That is a black screen, which means I do have to load it again. So 1 moment.
Technical difficulties. This is why it's live, people.
Anna Marie had sent this in from Tomoka Heights. Is that how you pronounce that?
Your guess is as good as mine. I'm not gonna lie to you.
As this comes in, again, this one's from Ruth, but we've got a still image here that I'd like to get in. Here we go.
Okay.
How about this? Bang. Woof. There is
it's in Lake Placid. Oh my gosh. That is so the other, not to compare to awesome photos, but Ruth's fountain, is still running. There's still some water coming through on that video. That looks like that.
I can't imagine this is running.
Anna Marie looks like that's fully frozen over. That is, wow. Yeah. It's just, this is here. This is in Lake Placid. I see somebody asking
that question. Yeah.
This is just really amazing to me that this is a Florida submission. It's crazy to me.
We've got a couple of other crazy Florida submissions coming in here now.
Okay, let's see.
From a Jeff. I don't believe it's our Jeff unless he's multitasking right now, but I don't think he is. We'll load this into our little playlist here. And then this is also, I love getting these. I don't know why, but so we'll see. Some of these are loading, some of these aren't. Well, I bring these other ones up. Check this out. How about that?
Wow.
So the comment here was ice from running my sprinklers. So the sprinklers were running, and that might have been what was happening in some of these other photos that we were looking at. If someone wasn't really thinking about protecting their plants, so to speak, maybe you're less worried about something in your backyard than a farmer might be about a crop. This is what can happen, though.
Yeah, this is Jeff in Gibsonia. That's wow. That is.
You think anyone's going to intentionally run their sprinkler tonight to try and create their own photos if they drop below freezing?
Perhaps. I mean, Jeff mentioned this earlier in the stream. For anybody who missed it, Jeff Berardelli, our chief meteorologist, was here. We had one of the first videos that we'd submitted was a great UGC video from what I assume was a farmer here in the local area who had frozen crops, it looked like.
Yeah.
And Jeff mentioned that this is sometimes done intentional, that you try and freeze over like your strawberries and things like that because it keeps the internal temperature at 32 degrees instead of allowing it to drop below freezing. Perhaps that is a strategy that you could also do with these plants. I'm not really a meteorologist or a scientist in any way to tell you, but that, maybe that's the right play.
And we got here, this is also from Jeff. This is the temperature that this happened at. Lower than some of the other places we've seen. So again, even if you leave your sprinklers on, I don't know where we expect to see anything close to 22 degrees
22.
tonight. Again, we spoke about it, but there are different 32 degrees and 22 degrees are very different in the same way that 6 degrees and 32 degrees are very different.
And I wonder if leaving the sprinkler on is doing you, kind of a twofold thing, right? It's helping protect that plant, but it's also helping
those
your pipes. Yeah, I mean, maybe that was just a smart move.
Yeah. Here's more from Jeff.
Let's pull this up full again as well.
Got the
really got all
it
of
is
it.
really beautiful. Maybe I'm a sucker for it, but nature and seeing how things like this come to be and come to happen, getting these frozen droplets and icicles, even how small they are. And then I don't know if you've ever done this, but running your hands through them and having them fall off, and it's a very unique feeling.
I can't say I've had the chance to do that a lot because, as I mentioned,
Right.
I've lived in Florida my whole life.
Very different.
I do remember the first time I ever saw snow, and that was a shock to me because I thought, in the movies, they make it seem so fun and fluffy, and if you pack the snowball in and you throw the snowball, it looks so, soft. I remember that the first time I ever saw snow, I was in Boston with my dad.
How about that? Me too.
Yeah, there you go. And I remember trying to throw a snowball at him when he wasn't looking. And they don't tell you this, but if you pack a snowball tightly, it's really just a block of ice.
Yes,
And
you have to be careful with how you
Yeah.
pack the snowballs.
So I pelted him in the back with basically a block of ice, and I still don't think he's ever forgiven me for that one.
That's funny. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll probably do a little bit of a last call here for these
absolutely.
megaphone submissions. We'll give you guys a couple more minutes. WFLA.com/report it. That's how you get some of these submissions in here. I'm curious. I don't know. I think for me, Jeff, these are good submissions.
Yes, these are good ones. Are we trying to rank
That's
submissions?
kind of how I am in the head. I don't think anything is beating, and we'll bring it back up. I'll bring it back up here.
Listen, we
The
have to say
sledding video.
before we do all of this, of course, every one of these submissions have been fantastic.
right.
We appreciate absolutely every single one of them. But yeah, that sledding video was fantastic.
I
You know
mean,
what
how
really
can you
loved?
beat this?
Well, let me pull it up here. I'll pull it up full.
This is what it's about right here.
Absolutely.
And we can't forget, and we'll pull it back up, the kids playing outside.
I was just going to say, that's probably my favorite, the just joy of the kids playing outside in their first snow. That was, that one's going to be hard to beat too. Love the cat. The cat kind of giving me similar vibes as to myself, like, maybe don't want to go outside today.
That's right. As I try and find the kids.
Yeah, that was one of the earlier ones we did, so obviously probably buried under all of the other submissions that we've gotten because
Well, I believe this is
our viewers
this
have
is
been
kids
great.
as well.
Let's see it.
Even though this isn't the one you were talking about.
It's snowing. It's literally snowing. Oh my God.
It's from Cheryl in Brooksville. This is an awesome video.
I'm like on you. It's on you right here. Look at
Oh, that's fantastic. Like I said, just so cool to see for a lot of these kids, especially if you're this young, you've probably lived in Florida your whole life.
Not this one.
This is
Though this is fun. Thank you, Joe, for...
this is a really cool thing to see for a lot of kids.
There we go.
Who have never gotten a chance to experience.
Trying to catch the flakes, right?
Yes.
Oh wow, you can really see it. Look.
You can't.
That's cool.
That's Jessica and
My feet are not cold because
just true. Like I said, it's awesome. It's fantastic. Josh, obviously you grew up having the opportunity to kind of experience a lot of this. We didn't. As I'm going to speak for all sort of Florida-born people here, that we've never really had this opportunity. So really cool for these kids, these young kids, to have a unique experience that you really never get down here. So,
Well, you know what? I think as we do our wrap up, why not bring this up as the final shot? Because I think it summarizes what this means here. We didn't get blizzard snow, didn't accumulate, to get a couple inches, but it's been enough to, if you wanted to go outside,
right,
on
have a little bit of fun.
Florida morning, you can get in a box, a cargo crate, and you can have your parent gently push you down a hill, and you will. By technicality, this is sledding.
This is sledding in
This
Florida.
is sledding in Florida.
as Shane mentioned. Yeah,
with the dog.
absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
all right.
it has been a privilege to be here with you this morning. Stay warm, Garrett. Are you going to stay warm today?
I can tell you right now, once this mic is turned off, I'm going to go grab some hand warmers, probably put on like a sweatshirt, maybe go crawl back
Heat
in
up the
bed.
car?
Yeah, heat up the car, absolutely. Go get ready to just be cozy inside all day. I don't think I'm going out again, if I'm being honest.
Everybody, stay safe. Be with us. If you've got anything to report, just because we're not live here doesn't mean we won't use it. WFLA.com/report it. And for any other updates, you can watch us on Channel 8 or WFLA.com. That's where you'll get them. That's the place to be. Thanks so much for being here. Stay safe. Take care, everybody.